Well, hello friends, Coach Bob with you today, and today, as you can see, it is a cold, dreary, nasty gray day. It really is. You know, we have these days, it's wet, it's not pouring, it's nothing like that. It's that drizzling mist and cold, and it's just no fun at all. Can get you kind of down, give you the blahs. One of the things that I experienced here recently, I've got the old Spyder on the tender right now. Let's grab the key and see what the battery's gonna do. You know, I had it on the charger and I came in one night and I took it off, went for a ride, came in, the temperature dropped that night, got a little bit cold. Get this key. Get the old key. Got a little bit cold and all of a sudden I turned the Spyder on, and when I did, it just went, I hit the starter and it went, literally it went click. It was strange. It was like nothing I've ever experienced when a battery died. Everything just blacked out. It wasn't like there was a click when it was when you were pressing the button. It just died. It just died. Check the voltage on the battery. It was dropping to around 8.5, 9 volts. When I'd hit it, I'd pop it on the charger. Let's see what it's doing now, because I have had it on the tender for about 5 days while I wait for the new battery to get here. Let's see what it did. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, turned it on, and I mean, there is nothing at all. No light, no nothing. So the battery is gone, even on the tender. It was just weird. It's just not enough voltage to even do anything, to light anything up. Now I've got a battery jump case, and I can make it jump off with that. But I ordered a battery through SLINGMODS. It was called a Motobatt. Comes in charged up, all that jazz. Anyway, I got it inside. Let's unbox it, install it on this dreary day. Give us something to do. Keep our spirits up. All right, so let's see what the old Motobatt looks like. SLINGMODS, I want to tell you, they were Johnny on the spot on their shipping. I was very, very pleased. They also use an app that, for tracking their stuff. You can track it, I guess, normally, but the app that they utilize worked quite well. So boxed up nicely, we've got the Motobatt battery in here. Upgrade for the CanAm Spyder. There's the grease. No initial charging required. And as you can see, this is a 4-terminal battery. This is not a 2-terminal battery. There's the extra terminals in there. It's pretty dang high tech looking there, guys. Very cool. It's got a couple Allen screws to hold where I'm gonna hook my battery tender up back here, and it will be running straight to the battery utilizing these 2 bolts. And then I'll have my terminals on the front utilizing, you know, more of a traditional battery position. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna write down the date on here. 01/21. There we go. All right, so but before we get out there, let's go ahead and get these terminals put on here in the warm air, because you know, no reason to get out there and freeze our heinies off out there if we don't have to. There we go, just snugged it up, didn't want to kill it. So let's go out there. We've got a little dielectric grease. We'll put that on the terminals and stuff as we install this thing in there. See if we can't light things up and make it as visible as we can. And hopefully everything runs when we get done. That would be wonderful, right? So let's go out in the garage and get this thing. If you're wondering, the part number that I'm using is MBTX24U 300 cold cranking amps. AMA Pro. Like I said, they say that this fits the Spyder. We're gonna find out, aren't we? Let's go do it. Well, lo and behold, as I get ready to do my work, looks like somebody got back from shopping. Huh, Coach Vic. Let's help her out of the van, get her in the house. See what she spent her money on. Getting all your stuff together?
Yeah, I got them.
So how you doing?
Hi, I'm doing good.
So did you get all your stuff taken care of?
Yes, I did.
Did you spend a bunch of money?
$20 in one store and $7 in another, so nice. 27.
All right, and you get all your tag stuff done?
Oh, it was updated. State Farm already did it.
All right, I figured they would. Always try to help Coach Vic in the house with all her stuff. And especially when it's raining, she can't hold an umbrella because she's got to push with 2 hands. All right, so what else you need?
That's it.
All right.
Oh, you got my teacup?
Yeah, got your cup. Here, want me to carry this bag?
Sure.
I'll close the ramp for you, baby.
I got it.
Okay, all right. All right, so we got to pull these little caps off the battery. I have folks ask me, you know, whenever you're doing a battery thing, how do you know which one to put on first, the positive or the negative? You always put the positive on first and you take the positive off last. The way I remember that is be positive as long as you possibly can. Now I am working on a little piece of carpet. Now, my father always told me, you never set a battery on a concrete floor. I don't know why he said that. I don't even know if it's true. I don't even know if any of that makes sense. Old wives' tale, I just don't do it. I just don't do it, that's all. So again, this is my pigtail for my battery jump pack. And I will have, in the end of it, I will have plugged in an adapter that will run right into my battery tender. And that's this. So basically, this thing here, which my hands are greasy right now. Let's see if I can get it apart. So this will just plug right into here. And then that plugs into my battery tender. And then if I ever need to jump start it, I simply pull this off and jump start it. And that's that. That's all there is to it. So let's get the other battery out. If I'm not mistaken, you need a 10 millimeter, a 30 Torx, and a Phillips head screwdriver if you're an idiot like I am, because you've done some different things. But anyway, so let's get on the Spyder and get the battery out of it. And then we'll put this bad boy in there and see where we are. All right, so what we have to do, we have to take these two out. These are Torx 30s. I can tell you I don't have them in tight. I never have them in tight. And what I'll do, and that's my battery tender lead right there. Pull that out and I'll just drop it right there in the bottom. Yeah, I'm doing all this with one hand. Pretty crazy, huh? All right, take the box out. And you can see I've got my ground over here, positive over there. And the battery is locked in with this little strap here and that little piece there on the top. That's all there is to it. So let's get this thing disconnected. Again, I'm going to disconnect the ground first. The positive last. You want to be positive as long as you can. And when we put the other battery in, positive will go on first, ground will go on last. Positive as long as you can. You can see it's a Phillips head or a 10, Phillips head or a 10. One I've got mounted on top, one I've got mounted on side. One wire is coming from the Spyder, the other from the battery tender. Same thing over here, and that's all I've got connected to this battery. Again, working with one hand. We're going to take the ground off first. Remember, a righty-tighty, a lefty-loosey. I want you to know I have not gone in here and loosened these. This is the amount of tightness that I have on them. So for me to be able to do this with one hand, I think it shows you a little bit of how tight it needs to be versus what people normally do. What we're going to do, one of the things that I like to do, because I always worry about grounding things out, shorting things out. So what I do is I'll take like a rubber glove and I'll just wrap it around. I'll wrap it around that terminal. So let me do that. The last thing you want to do is short something out. That's just not cool. Again, that's the battery tender. I'm not worried about that. I'm going to pull that out. That's just going to be pulled right out of here. All right. So there's that. Don't have to worry about that now. Now I'm simply going to take this off with a Phillips head because of accessibility and where it is. All right. There's the battery tender lead. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that back out. So the battery tender is now off of here. The hot lead to the battery, I'm just going to pull it to the side like this and just get it out of the way. And let me use two hands. You can see the battery now is loose though, so I'm just going to grab it, pull her out of there. Now the question, can I, with a camera down in here, get a battery put in place? Let's see if I can left myself enough room. Well, so there's the battery. I'm going to put it right in that compartment. I am not going to video that part. I think you can use your imagination and see how it goes in there. It's a little more fidgety. That's an official term, fidgety. All right, because the pigtail on this is different than what is on the battery tender, it's due to this little loop right here. It won't fit through this hole no matter how I turn it. Could I open it and maybe fidget it through there? Maybe I could. But what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pull these off and run it back through the other way. Just take 2 seconds. It's a lot easier than fighting with it. So let's do that. We got the old pigtails on there. We got our ground covered. Dropping the battery in. I'll let you know if this thing fits or not. All right, so what I've discovered is that the battery terminals for this lead, they stick out the back. And if they stick out of the back, then the battery won't go in because those leads are banging against the side of the Spyder. So I'm gonna have to hook it up. Even though I've got the 4-lead battery, I'm just gonna have to hook it up utilizing the conventional setup that I had last time. Hate that, but it's the way it goes. So nothing to get alarmed about, but you know, it does kind of render that useless. The battery cables are sticking out far enough to where the battery doesn't have any room in the back part, and showing you would do nothing. It just trust me when I tell you, it won't fit. I'm gonna have to put the battery in before I hook anything up, but let's get those little covers and cover those battery terminals up like it came from the factory. So here's what's happening. These battery tenders, the battery terminals, they stick out the back, and you can see right here it's hitting that little wall. So it's just the battery's not going to fit in there with those sticking out. Now if I had these on the back and the front, it might work because I'd be able to turn them more across the battery. I don't have that set. But I can certainly hook up, you know, the tender to one side, but I'm just going to drop the main the battery from for the Spyder here, and then I'll drop my lead for this on top of it. The battery lead for the Spyder will go against the battery, and then the charging for the jumper and all that will go on the other side, on the outside. So that's that. It's really not a problem, but it's one of those things you just realize that's kind of the price of doing business. You can't worry about that stuff. So anyway, let's get this battery in the compartment now and see what happens. Now, professionals don't run into this kind of stuff. Only goobers like me do. But I like to do things my own and kind of learn from my own mistakes, and that's what I do, and that's what happened here. So, you know, it is what it is, man. It fit perfectly without those leads on there, so I'm slapping the old dielectric grease on all of the terminals. Nothing to's it buts to do's it. All right, so here's our ground. I've got it uncovered right now, and there's our hot right there. So the hot's going to go on first, then the hot for the lead for the tender is going to go on, and the ground will go on, and then this will go on over the top of that. The bolt that came off, or the screw that came off of the old battery, the threads work right there for it perfectly, just to let you know. So I'm going to run these wires and just hook them up. That's all there is to it. So I don't think that's going to be too complicated for you to watch. A red and a red hook there, and a black hook there. That's it. So let me get this done. It's getting cold out here, so let me get this hooked up real quick, and then we'll start her up. Let's see what it looks like and do it. So the hot was just like that. Let's put a little ground on him. To get all this done, will I have to reset my clock and all that? I would imagine I would. You know, one thing that folks may question before, you know, I get it done is this piece here. It just kind of it slips in a little slot there. You know, you can bend down. You can feel it though once it's in. One side's in on this right now, and the other side's not. So once I get it, I'll know, and it'll be in there. But you'll feel it lock in. There it went right there, and then the strap will hold it in. So anyway, I'm gonna need 2 hands to do that, but you see how it goes. Very, very simple. All right, so the battery's all installed. If you're wondering, well, Bob, then why didn't you show us the rest of the video? Well, I've got a call into SLINGMODS right now. I have a question, and I'm just gonna ask the question. I'm gonna drop a few pictures right here of the way the Motobatt is shaped on the top of it versus the stock battery. And you see that when you're putting it in. I'll show you what I'm talking about. This little notch here is not in the Motobatt battery. The Motobatt battery is flat on top. It would all be flat all the way out here. And there are 2 little ears that hang down there. And those 2 ears are putting pressure on the top of the battery. Now, anyone who's been watching this channel for a while understands how meticulous I am about things. And I'm just saying, I just want to verify that these ears pressing on that little spot on the battery is not going to create any damage, any potential for electrical fire or anything like that. So I've got to call into them right now, and they're going to call me right back. Well, you can see the installation looks great. You can see what I'm talking about. Little ears are sitting right there. They're sitting on top of the battery.
See if I can get a camera on down in here a little bit more. Those little ears, the light's hard to work with here. Those little ears right there are sitting on top of the battery. And I am just concerned that that's going to damage the battery. I don't think it's going to. But it's one of those things that
I learned a long time ago, it's better to just ask the question. I'm waiting on a call from them. I'll let you know here in just a minute what the outcome of that is, just in case you get the Motobatt and you're running the same thing. All right, well, it's pouring down rain. I'm still waiting on that call from SLINGMODS. It's only been a couple of minutes. But anyway, they'll call me right back. Figured I would show you this little battery jump pack that I utilize. I showed you where that little pigtail hooked up to the battery and how it also hooks to the battery tender. If you're not using the little pigtail, it comes with jumper cables that you can, but you have to pull that battery box cover off, and I don't want to have to do that. I will drop a link down below and a description on this thing off of Amazon. It's pretty nice though. I really do like it. I've used it to jump cars, trucks, the Spyder, motorcycles. I've used it to jump just about everything. Also, Coach Vic loves it because when we travel, it allows her to charge her phone. It is made by, I'm gonna say Scosche, S-C-O-S-C-H-E. And there it is right there. You plug it into the wall, you charge it up at night, you use it. It comes with an emergency light on the end of it. When you turn it on, it lets you know what the charge is like. And all you do, you hold the power button on to make sure to make the light work. You hold it down, light comes on, press it again, strobe, press it again, slow strobe, press it again, off. That's all there is to it. It's got 2 USB ports right there on the end, and this is where you hook that pigtail up right there. You press the boost button, boom, you crank it, jumps your Spyder right off, jumps your car right off, jumps whatever you want. And this I use to check the voltage of the battery. This is how I noticed the voltage drop on the battery, was looking at this. I use this when we travel. But anyway, again, I'll drop a link with the price, or I'll drop the price right across here of what these things sell for now. This is model number PBJ 700. So like peanut butter and jelly 700, PBJ 700. Thing works great. I mean, it works absolutely great. Used it a bunch on the trip when Coach Vic and I travel in the car. Again, she uses it to charge her phone. I've used it to jump the Spyder off, my car off, and my Triumph off. So it has heeded the call every single time without issue, and it holds a charge pretty good. All right, so I just got off the horn with SLINGMODS. They said everything is a go, so I'm gonna go ahead and button this thing back up. I'm gonna show you what we have one more time. Hot right there is all on and covered up, looking good. The ground there, get a cover, so it drops right in just like it's supposed to. And the bolts, and 2. Nothing to it. Again, nothing about what I did today was complicated, and nothing about what you're going to do is going to be complicated either. The big thing is that the level of frustration can get high when things go wrong if you let it. Just don't let it. But if you would, take a minute, subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, help the channel grow. I really would appreciate it. And go out, buy the motorcycle of your dreams, eat right, take care of yourself, and remember, if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. Now, I'm gonna see you on the road real soon. You go seize the day. I've got a video to edit so you can have something to watch in the morning.